You're listening to Health Professional Radio. My name is Wayne Bucklar, and joining me today is the Principal of Health Schools Australia, Stephen Eddey. Stephen's been on the program a few times and comes back today to talk to us about fresh-picked olive leaf extract from Convita. Stephen, welcome back to Health Professional Radio.
It's great to be here, Wayne. Thanks for having me.
Now, Stephen, I saw this lead come through about fresh-picked olive leaf extract, and, I don't want to be cynical, but why is fresh-picked such an important element?
It's a great question. We all know fresh is best, but there's no real, a lot of people don't explain why it is. And the simple reason is because there's some certain chemicals that degrade once you pick a plant, and some of these chemicals are very, very important for human health. The most well-known one is vitamin C, of course, and we know that fresh is best for vitamin C. There's also other polyphenols, which are chemicals that have a very powerful antioxidant effect and a very powerful effect on boosting the immune system in the body and, of course, reducing inflammation. And these are very, very important. These chemicals are picked and consumed when the plant is fresh. Otherwise, they degrade.
Ah, that makes more sense. Now, I know there's not been much sign of winter, certainly in my part of Australia. It hasn't been one of those years when you've been going, oh, it's chilly at Easter. But winter is just around the corner. Now, that generally means coughs and cold season. Is olive leaf extract a health preparation that will actually help with that? Absolutely.
Of course, we can eat well, keep off the junk food, keep our nutrients up, take multivitamins. They're all fantastic to help the immune system. But it's very, very important to get into polyphenols that can help us keep the immune system particularly high during these winter months. And I'm in Queensland too. We don't have too much of a winter, but certainly in Sydney and Melbourne. And, it does get cold here in Queensland in winter. This is when you need to take these antioxidants to protect yourself from getting a cold. So instead of getting it and then trying to treat it, it's always best, my training as a naturopath is to prevent the disease in the first place. That's always the best call.
Do we have good evidence that olive leaf extract works as an antioxidant?
Oh, absolutely. There's been some wonderful studies that have been published on this, and the way I explain it to people is quite simple. If you imagine a plant in the sunlight, it can't just jump in the shade when, the ultraviolet light's hitting it. It has to make chemicals to protect itself from the ultraviolet insult from the sun. So it makes loads and loads of antioxidants, so therefore these leaves can survive and in fact thrive in the sunlight, and we consume those antioxidants and we gain those benefits.
Oh, that makes more sense when you put the picture together in that way. Now, the fresh-picked olive leaf extract from Convita, I'm assuming they found some way to put this in a jar and keep it behaving like fresh-picked olive leaves should. Yeah,
absolutely. And if you look at the bottle that it's in, it's very dark and it's sealed and very contained, but they process it when it's fresh. You're 100% correct on that. So it retains the nutrients, and once it's bottled, those nutrients are quite stable in there. The way that they keep it fresh is, of course, in a very airtight, darkened bottle, and it's a very, very important way to keep the powerful antioxidants fresh in there.
Stephen, as always, it's been a pleasure having a chat with you. When it comes to these matters, you're a font of wisdom for us. Is there anything else about olive leaf extracts that people should know?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very high, has very high antioxidants and free radical scavenging properties. So what this means is it can prevent you getting sick from a lot of other diseases. And the literature shows there's some quite good benefits of taking antioxidants, because oxidation is like rusting, and nobody here wants to rust, and a lot of diseases are associated with oxidation. So taking good antioxidant levels will prevent a lot of those diseases.
Oh, I often feel like I'm rusting away, I have to admit.
Yeah, some in my late 40s, and the run this morning was a bit chilly this morning up here in Queensland, but it was great to get out there and go for a run. And, by keeping a good immune system, we can do those activities without getting sick.
See, I remember the late 40s fondly in history, and my run has now slowed to a moderately brisk walk.
Yeah, hey, look, as they say, the most dangerous exercise you can do is none at all.
Very true. Stephen, it's been a pleasure having you with us. Stephen's the Principal of Health Schools Australia, and has joined us a few times on Health Professional Radio to talk about various things. If you've just missed my conversation with Stephen Eddey, the good news is we have a transcript on the Health Professional Radio website. We also have an audio archive of the interview on both SoundCloud and YouTube, and so you can pop into our website and pick those up shortly. I'll give you the address for that website in just a moment. Stephen, thank you for joining us. I do appreciate your time. I know you're a busy man.
No problem at all. It's great to chat anytime. And
for our listeners who want those archived audio interviews or transcript, head off to www.hpr, that's Health Professional Radio, hpr.fm, and you can find all of those resources there. My name is Wayne Bucklar. Thank you for listening to us on Health Professional Radio.